This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, everybody. A very warm and Merry Christmas to all of you, coming to you live from Djuma Private Game Reserve in South Africa. My name is Steve Falconbridge. I'm joined on camera by Davesito, and we also have the young Polly on board. I hope you're all well this morning. It is a wonderful morning in South Africa. We're not alone. We have got some more crazy looking fellows on the other vehicle. Good morning. Happy Christmas, Sydney, Marcel, Alexi. Happy Christmas! Look how excited everybody is on this beautiful morning. Well, anyway, you know how to get a hold of us. Hashtag SafariLive. Send your questions, comments through. We'd also like to hear from you in the YouTube chat stream. The all-important @FC. Keep your questions relevant. Let us know how you're doing. I hope you're all having a very nice, wonderful morning or evening, wherever you might be. Well, our plan is to go out and find some Christmas presents for you in the form of birds and animals. So if there's anything specific you'd like to talk about, let us know, and maybe we'll be able to find it or talk about it for you. Jump on board. It is a lovely morning. Emma did tell me the temperature a moment ago, but I'm afraid it is completely vanished out of my ear because they are very big, my ears, and the wind is just blowing everything out of them. Yes, I can hear it now. 23 degrees Celsius, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a lovely, cool morning. It's blustery. It's a nice, cool breeze. And, well, we have got some lion tracks. That is the reason why Sidders drove straight past us, because he has obviously picked up on these lion tracks. He's going to go see what he can do. But anyway, let's go up to the Masai Mara, where I think it is a little bit dark still, but David is going to be very festive and full of cheer.
Feliz Navidades. Very good morning, Kenya. I'm sure all of you know me. My name is David, and on camera is Archie. Merry Christmas to all the animals of the Mara. Merry Christmas to the smallest animals, to the spiders, to all the earliest, the tallest animals we have here. We're very excited to have you on board on this Christmas day, to our families, and above all, to all of you nice viewers. Merry Christmas. I'll be doing a lot of dancing today, and it's all about Christmas mood, and my plans are to look for all the animals that I know of that will be looking like families. The sausage tree pride, possibly the whole family. Elephants, I don't want to look for one, I want to look for a family. If I see one zebra, we are not going to stop. We are going to look for zebras in families. It's a family day, and we're very excited. Thank you for being with us from, the time we began up to today. May you enjoy your Christmas. All right, it's time now to start business, and as I said earlier, I'll be looking for any animals that will look like a family tree. King, what you said, that was awesome. Thank you very much, and to you in particular, a very Merry Christmas. So just have to reverse, and that particular tree you saw me standing by, it's a very famous tree here in the Mara, because we call that tree the Out of Africa tree. And the movie Out of Africa, a few sets or acts were done by that tree. We call it Aboskiai, and it's a very famous tree for us here in the Mara Triangle. Well, we are in infrared, that's why I look a little bit different. I have a different color today in terms of Masai Shuka, and I'll be getting the other one, the green one, much later in the day. All right. And thank you very much, everybody in the final control in Djuma. To all of you, Merry Christmas. I could not forget you. And also from the team here in the Mara, we all tell you Merry Christmas. Okay. Exactly. Now let me go look for any family dynamics of the animals here in the Mara. But the gentleman who I've always thought has the best smile ever in the world will be telling you or be saying Merry Christmas to you all.
What a beautiful morning. You can see that the weather is so perfect, and a happy and Merry Christmas. This is Sydney from Niconico, and I'm coming to you live from the western side of the Greater Kruger National Park here in Djuma Game Reserve. And my plan this morning, I'm going to be looking for some beautiful cats. You can talk to me while I'm out on this game drive just by following us on Twitter, #SafariLive. So I want to try and see if we can find some cats. I heard quite a lot of different lions roaring last night, and hopefully we might also be lucky with some of these leopards. So I just want to go and try and see if we can check the Buffalo's Hook Cat line where we saw the new lion pride yesterday. Maybe they crossed over to our property, who knows. I just want to quickly go and check there. The holiday traditions we have normally during the Easter is when we are doing quite a lot of traditional rituals and traditional ceremonies. There's quite a lot of dancing. Yes, now by December, sometimes we do try and gather, as some of us are working very far as Johannesburg, and this is the gathering time. Is when we go and do some kind of dancing and participate on some of the traditional sports, like the day tomorrow. Tomorrow is our traditional sports day where we play boxing. We just play boxing with bare hands. So now let's cross over back to Steve. Maybe Steve is looking for a Christmas, in search of Christmas.
Yes, Sidders is on the trail of that one cat, the one track we saw a moment ago. The male lion seemed to be, was heading in that direction, so I'm just going to give him a little bit of a hand and see if we can find. It's possible that the animal has just come in and gone straight north, but it's always worth investigating and just having a little look-see on the corners here. You never know what you might find, tracking-wise. And well, those tracks are fresh because we drive that road every single day and every evening. And last night we actually, as a community, all of us staff, accumulated as a drive-through, not a drive-through, but like a drive-in sort of setup. An open-air cinema, thank you, Darby, in the middle of quarantine up here, and we watched a movie, Home Alone, the first one. It was actually quite good. And that went on a while, so that lion has come after we were there, because we all drove back from that. So it was quite lovely, all snuggled together with mattresses and blankets. It was quite a nice little Christmas bed. The lion was looking to come and watch Home Alone. Imagine what Macaulay Culkin would have done if he saw a lion, if he behaved the way he behaved in the movie for all those other things. Saw a lion, I think he'd do more than just a... You've all seen it, and if you haven't, well, it's actually quite a good movie. Haven't seen it since it was created, I think, in the 80s, and we watched it again. It was pretty classic, I must admit. We had some fun. So anyway, back to the crux of it. We are going to look for some tracks, and it's very windy. Kirby, I don't know, I've never done this before, Kirby. I've never spruced up my vehicle before like this and then approached a lion, so we'll see. The thing is that if you ever do anything new and change anything, you'll be able to pick up on the animal's change in behavior quite quickly, and then be like, oh, hang on, we got to take off these shiny bulbils off the front here, or maybe my ears are going to affect, they're going to maybe think I'm a kudu. Yeah? Now, I don't think this is going to affect the animals at all. A spruced, oh, well, I am losing my tinsel. Okay, oh, Darby, look at that sky. We had beautiful sky coming through. And while we watch it rising in the east, David Gitu in the Masai Mara is festive as ever.
Good luck, Steve, and hopefully you're gonna get some cuts for all of us on this Christmas day. And I got some more family here of guinea hens. I got some birds that we call guinea fowls, and there are 4 of them, which means it's a family. And as I said earlier, today is a family day, and most people have maybe joined together from the places of work to come and celebrate Christmas. And I'm trying to imagine also these birds will be staying together for the better part of the day, and they will be feeding on seeds as they pick from the grass. They don't miss any insect that would come on their way, but more often than not, they feed on seeds. I just want to back up a little bit and see whether we can catch them as they are moving in the other direction. Let me just move back slightly bit and see if you can see more of them. And I'm excited by these little birds here because they are my first animals for Christmas. They are moving to the left there, and there are 4 of them, 5 maybe, and they spend better part of the day on the grass feeding. So we go back in the village. Many people may not wear red like today, but what happens is they'll have some special dressing from the kids, and the bigger color, of course, with the modernization will be red. So many people, when they'll go to church, they'll be in red just to celebrate Christmas. But it's no one particular color people will wear. And talking of those guinea fowls that we've been watching there, we used to get feathers from them and some other bigger birds that we call the ostriches, and it would make some very nice headgears for them during, say, a Christmas which has come maybe the last 30, 40 years. But under normal circumstances, back in the villages, people just have merry and remain with their normal dressing or clothes. Once in a while, people would get some dye and just put on their face from certain plants here in Africa, and that would make them look very colorful. Okay, looks a bright day. Yesterday and today we did not get any rain, which is very good news. Hopefully it remains like this. Doug might, what animal would I nominate? I would say for me, always and always, when you look at big animals, it's always the elephant. So elephant will be my animal that I would dominate. And if I was able to get my red shuka today, or my green Maasai shuka today, I would wish to wrap it on a huge female cow, or huge female elephant, on a big cow, and just have it on its back. Maybe have the green shuka on a big cow, and have maybe the red one to the small little calves, and I would see how they would look walking in the savannah. We don't have even any slight wind. Yeah, that could look very, very nice. Very colorful, the final control says. And I'm looking at animals, trying to imagine if we could dress all the animals here in Africa, with Christmas decorations. I don't know what Steve and Sidney would think, but to me I think the zebras might come out very colorful, because with their black and white stripes, see whether you could create small little reds somewhere, either between the black and white, some little red, and have some Christmas hats on the zebras' heads. I don't know what Steve would think, which animals would come out most colorful during Christmas in terms of Christmas colors. I would say myself zebras, but luckily as an individual, elephants would be my animal, because elephants are huge and the colors would come out quite conspicuous, because from a distance they'll take a huge piece of cloth that you can easily see from far. It could be a challenge to do the antelopes being small in size like the Thompson gazelles. I think that could be a challenge. Would definitely need big animals. All right, so keep looking for lions if I'm lucky and in good time to the Sausage Republic, that's where I want to end up. But in the meantime, let's hear what Steve got.
Well, I can't put them away. They're so conspicuously large. Well, I'm trying to hear everything. Anyway, so I come from a South African English background, and well, nothing too exciting about our Christmas traditions. We drink lots of apple juice and we eat copious amounts of food. Obviously, growing up in South Africa, pretty much all of my Christmases have been at the beach. Sunshine and swimming weather. I think I've had a couple white Christmases in my life and it's always been a bit strange. But to be honest, I haven't celebrated a family Christmas in many, many years. I'm always working, always busy. Always busy doing something. Well, here is a very nice little junction that I always like to check for tracks. The Nkuhuma Pride often comes down this way. Nothing there, Davy. Comes down this way and heads on. There's some nice pathways through all the way from the east to west. I wonder what the Nkuhumas are doing for Christmas, if they're all going to come together, or if the lioness last night, who I still think is Amber Eyes, is going to stay in a little bit of a relationship. Maybe that's what happened, because there's male lion tracks we saw. Maybe she said, go home to your family, I'm going to my family. Because the entire time we were with that pair last night, there was no mating at all. So he might have just been looking for a little bit of Christmas loving. We're not sure. We're not sure. But it's a very interesting morning with this cloud cover. And the sun is really fighting to try and get through it. We had, while we were watching the movie last night, we had a beautiful array of lightning all around us, too far away to hear. But it was very colorful, a little sprinkling of moisture just before heading to bed. But nothing really to write home about with regards to rain. Well, it seems like Sydney is found the first animal for the morning, and these ones are still wearing their pajamas.
What a beautiful animal. You can see I've got the zebras. I haven't seen the zebras for quite a while. They are good looking animals. Look at that. Look at those stripes. So zebras, when they are together like this, normally they walk in harems. A harem is just a social structure which is consisted of the male and his females. Zebras, the males, they do fight a lot for the females. And before the fight, you can even read their, when they're provoking each other, you can easily read them. Look at that. Now you can see they wanted to display a little bit of a fight there. So they normally use their body gesture. You will see the stallion, dominant male, when he is interested on a fight. Look, those ones are chasing each other. When the stallion is interested to fight another one, they normally open and show off the teeth, pull the ears forward, and then extend the neck. Then you must know a fight is going to take place. These animals, they've got a very good kick and turn mechanism. Look at their hoofs. You can see that they've got just a single hoof. That is why they call it a perissodactyla, which means a hoof is not divided. So these animals, that one solid hoof can be dangerous. Look at the impala passing by. You can see that the zebras and impalas are feeding close to each other. Maybe that is for a territorial reason. These zebras, indeed, they've got to be very much careful with the lions, because where I am is where the lions normally roam around. And the tracks we saw here, they are heading much more towards this area. I'm going to be operating around Sandwich Patch area, Vuyotela access. I will even go to the side of the Triple M, the main road, which is going much more towards the eastern side of the park, of the game reserve. That side, I am hoping to see maybe the Nkuhumas coming out, as since they have been to that side, we haven't seen them. And last night I heard quite a lot of roar from that area, so I'm going to go and check there. We might be lucky with them. Look at the zebras. I think there's a tension between these zebras. They are all, oh, now it's time for grooming. It is a Christmas day today. Zebras, they are showing off. Look at those beautiful stripes, and look at how they're standing now when two are facing that side with one. It's like one has got two heads. That is what normally these animals do when there is a presence of the predator. So zebras are close to the donkeys and horses. You can check, they've got quite a lot of similarities from the hoofs and the type of stomach they've got. These animals are hind gut fermenters, which means they've got a simple stomach. The digestive system on zebras, it starts from the mouth as they're chewing. They don't go out for feeding and ruminate again. Digestive system on them works like ours. It looks like that zebra is listening to me. It's got a very big stomach. Not too sure if that one is pregnant, but to me, that one, it looks pregnant. So maybe that zebra is just asking, yeah, you can see that one is pregnant. So some other zebras have already started maybe giving birth by this time. This one is still now holding pregnancy. We will see, maybe the little one's going to come anytime soon, as the food availability is perfect. So now, when these zebras are giving birth, normally their little ones are also vulnerable by the animals David has got by the Masai Mara now.
Well, there is another family here. After we saw the family of the guinea fowls, there's a family of hyenas here, and I think these are members of the Ololo clan. We had that youngster which just crossed the road, and they have a little den. There's another one just walking there. The three of them, and either they are from the den or heading to the den at the moment. We haven't followed them so closely like the North clan that we know so very well. And these are the spotted hyenas. You see, they still look in black and white. It's a little bit still dark here where we are. Walking in the grass. Sometimes they scavenge a lot, but more often than not, they'll also get their own food. So it doesn't mean because hyenas have been mistaken to be scavengers, they're always scavenging. So very slowly, that's the youngster in that small little family there, and they have headed out either towards the den or they've been scavenging the whole night. That's my guess. With all the rains we've been having, my guess is they're going to maybe a little bit higher ground to get a little dry. When we had very heavy rains, sometimes in June, July, we had many hyenas leaving their dens, and they had to relocate and Wow. Well, time to move on. Thank you very much, Highness. Hopefully you may be picking up with them later. All right. And we will hope you get some natural light very soon. Kicking on my left because that is my eastern horizon. That's where the sun should be coming up through once it's ready to rise. But maybe another 10 minutes or so. But pretty cool here, pretty cool. When we started, we were about 16 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And maybe you could be having a bit of gremlins. Let me take you fast back to Steve Oval.
Thanks, David. Sorry about the gremlins in the Mara, folks. Well, we've managed to find again the tracks, and this looks like a female lion. This one is not very clear, but it's quite windy, so I'm not going to show it to you now because the edges have been sort of moved over. But the lion came along here and then cut through that way. Let me show you on my lovely map that I've got hidden here somewhere. There it is, underneath all my books. Oh, sorry about them. The dirtiness of it. Got a little bit dirty under my books there. Those of you who are not familiar with Vuyatela, here is our camp. It's just over there. we went out this morning and we found some tracks over here in the middle of quarantine. This is where we had our movie night last night, and so we drove around. We came around this way, we've come down Zoe's Road, and we've come down Rebecca's Road, and this is where we are now, and we found those tracks again. So I'm just going to keep following up. Sydney's on that side, seeing where this line has gotten to. I'm not 100% sure if it is the same one. There might even be two moving through, but we are going to be hot on the trails of them soon. Obviously helpful having the radio to be able to talk to each other about movements and plans. Excuse me. So we can maximize the search. The radio, for those of you who are new to the show as well, is not merely for us to sit and chat to everybody about what's going on, but to maximize the sort of searching potential and to increase the footprint that we can have over this reserve. Because the more vehicles out, the more chances you've got of finding all those special animals. We are now in the heart of Djuma. Hello, Joy. I believe Zoe and Rebecca are actually the daughters of Yuri, who is the owner of Djuma. He is the landowner here. And I think they're actually all here at the moment. Everybody's on holiday, all the families. We saw lots of people with quite a bit of Christmas cheer last night on Game Drive, lots of families around. Obviously all the schools are on holiday, probably all around the world, I suppose. I don't know who would go to school now, don't we? That would be pretty, no, that wouldn't work. If you are going to school today, I do feel for you, but I doubt you. That would be awful, indeed. Okay, so Sidders is that side. He's following up on those tracks. We are coming down a little bit, see what other animals are coming through. Looking for some more tracks. We might pop in and say good morning to the hyena. What do you reckon? I think it's a good time. Yeah, I think it's a good time. Djuma clan for Christmas morning. Yeah? Wally, are they in here? I think they're in here. So let's see what kind of festivities the hyenas have got. Maybe they'll wear one of these hats. Or maybe we'll find them with another one of David's shoes for Christmas. Davy? No?
They're a great present.
David's now keeping his shoes up on the roof by his room so that hyenas don't pick them up and go and take them for a little snack. And until he forgets one morning. So let's go say good morning to the Djuma clan. It is a lovely morning out here in Djuma. Nice and cool. I hope the day is going to stay like this. We are going to be doing a gingerbread house building competition today. I don't know who's going to be on my team. I'm not the best house builder in the world. Zephyr, you want to know how the gingerbread building house competition is going to go? Well, Emma's going to tell me in my ear because, well, she is the one with all the rules there. I don't actually have any idea. We're going to take the gingerbread, we're going to build a house, and then we're going to add decorations. Apparently it's that simple. Very good. That is what we're going to be doing, Zephyr. Simple and effective. Okay. Emma's now asking what theme am I going to go for? 1 story, 2... Emma, I would just be happy if I get selected to be on someone's team. So anyway, I don't see any hyena here. They might have gone away for the morning. It is nice and cool. It's possible that the adults are still out foraging, following the male lion. But here it is. This is the marvelous Djuma clan, or den site of late. Very nice little home there. They don't need to build a gingerbread house. They've got a beautiful large termite mound within which to live. But for now, there is nobody here. So anyway, it was worth a little bit of a look, but we're going to move on and continue to see if we can find you something special for Christmas. as we come out here. Try and not get into any branches. I'm going to get back out, head a little bit south, check towards the watering holes, and also follow up on the area where we had some tracks of what I believe was Tundi last night, and wait for Sydney, who is still searching in the west for any signs of that male lion.
I am now following the tracks of two lions which came down this side. It's the tracks that I saw when I started, and the animals much more this side. Sandy Patch area, they are not settled. The lions has been here. I'm not sure if these tracks are for now or it was in the middle of the night. But to me, the tracks, they look very fresh. It's windy too much where I am, and the wind can easily just blow the tracks. So I just want to go around here and see if we cannot find these lions. Dory, the wind, it does help the prey animals sometimes to detect their predators, and also got some of the disadvantages, because when it's too windy sometimes animals can't hear well, and predators, they use that kind of an opportunity. So when it's too windy, you'll see these animals gathering and coming together, also going under some of the big trees. So these tracks got disappeared somewhere. Yeah, they're still going. The tracks are still going. I'm still with the tracks heading much more this side. So it looks like the tracks went off the road somewhere here. And these tracks are heading towards the area where I'm coming from. So it's heading much more towards Sydney's Dam. So back again on the road. So they're very much fresh looking tracks. So I can see that these lions went much more towards west. So now let's cross over to the Masai Mara and see what they are having at the moment.
Well, we are having not as windy as out gas it is in South Africa, but we have some beautiful mist, and in the background it seems we got some sun that is just about to pop up in the eastern horizon. Combined with that mist makes it look very colorful. Not as much mist as the other day, but I'm trying to look at the combination of that mist and the eastern horizon. We are looking at a beautiful painting of what we call it. Look at that. And there's an eagle there, and I'm trying to guess that maybe it could be a tawny eagle, not very sure. On one of those, the second tree from the right, that is it, and I'm guessing it could be a tawny eagle. It's definitely a raptor. It's definitely a bird of prey. Not very clear from where I am, but my guess is it's a tawny eagle. Look at the mist, and as the sun keeps popping up, I'm sure very soon I might be requesting all of you for a tweet on this Christmas Day. and to be happy to know what you think, what you feel, having that Tony Eagle there, having the mist there, and maybe the sun just about to pop up from the eastern horizon. As usual, remember we do a very interactive safari, so should you have any comments and questions? Trish, thank you for your comment. Look at that view, Trish. Thank you very much. It couldn't be better. And again, as I said, you might think it's a painting. The mist there, the trees, the eagle, and the horizon, the blue, and suddenly just about to pop up. Again, as I was saying when we started, it was rather chilly, 16 degrees Celsius, and it was about 60 Fahrenheit. Not sure we have gotten lower as much as the sun is pushing up, but hopefully it's going to start getting warm. Look at that beautiful sky. So may I request, as usual, you send me tweets, one word, hashtag SafariLive. So we'll be very happy to hear what you think of this, because I'm trying to wait until the sun pops up. This is one great morning for Christmas that I think I'm going to remember for a very long time. I could call this maybe my snow Christmas. We rarely get snow where we are in the Mara and basically in East Africa. When you see snow, we'll always see you on our tall mountains. For example, Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania or Mount Kenya in Kenya. But we rarely see snow, so we don't have any snowy Christmases, I would say. But if I would call this my snow the mist, would be the equivalent of white Christmas. The sun is just popping up now, and I can promise you I'm not leaving this spot until the whole ball is out. How beautiful is that? Mrs. Lapwing, thank you very much. Izamara Snow Globe, thank you very much, Miss Lapwing. Always is a pleasure to hear you, Avis. And that's pretty cool. Thank you very much. That's a very good comment, Miss Lapwing. I would say Asante Sana, and to Miss Lapwing, Merry Christmas. Purple Rain, you say it's mystical. Very true. It is mystical from what you see there with the mist and the sun popping up. Is truly mystical. And the best thing for me to do is just to wait until that whole ball is out of the horizon, and it's going to grace our Christmas, and hopefully it will start warming up and the mist will start to dissipate slowly, and if there are any animals there, I could easily spot them from a distance. How lovely. Michelle, always a pleasure to hear your name. Merry Christmas, Michelle. Amazing. Thank you very much. That just makes it even more colorful from all the other one words I have had before. Thank you, Michelle. It's truly amazing. Seeing the sun up with the mist. And the mist is not very high. I would say it's about a meter or two from the ground. Unlike a few days ago when it was very misty. Dina, tranquil, fantastic. Merry Christmas, Dina, tranquil. Definitely it gives me a lot of tranquility this Christmas morning. And hopefully my day will be fabulous. Just about to pop up. I've been saying the last few weeks that sunrises or sunsets to me are golden moments in my life. And this is quite glorious and great golden moment, especially being a Christmas day with all the mist and all the colors you might think of. Not sure what other parts of the world the sun rays, how they look like. I said the other day, there's a time I was in Mexico City, and what I saw was unbelievable. For about a month I stayed there, I did not see any sunrise or any sunset. Not one day I also saw a star. Well, a few reasons I was told. A bit of pollution in the big city and too many people, too many cars, but also the city is in kind of a valley. So Africa and more so the Mara Triangle in Juma, we are very lucky. We feel very privileged to see this every day. Well, I would say that's it for the beautiful sunrise in the mist. and I'll be moving on. All right, Steve, you may need to get us some lions on this Christmas morning. What is your start saying now?
Thanks, David. No pressure, indeed. We found, excuse me, tracks of a male leopard. We're just trying to follow up now. A good chance that the male leopard is indeed my favorite cat in the whole world. And a song comes to mind. Hey, Darby? Keep you all the way, da-da-da, Hosanna, yeah. Sorry, folks, those of you who've just tuned in, we have all lost our minds. Absolutely lost our minds today. I think it might be the elf ears. In fact, might be this Santa hat that is quite constricting or restricting on my head. Just stopping the blood flow indeed, Emma. Stopping the blood flow. Okay, so the tracks are coming down from this road over here, which is called Pangolin. We're right in the middle of Djuma. This is Chelapan off to the left here. An area where I have had the little chief many times. And well, behind Chelapan is in fact the famous Mulwati drainage. And well, this is where we are. We're right over there now. We came all the way down Philemon's Dip, down Weaver's Nest, Pangolin track. We found the tracks here. We've had a quick little look over here. Nothing. We're now here. We're going to go down Twin Dams Road and come into the Mulwati and see if maybe we can find any sign of the little chief. Yes, I think for Christmas he's gonna pop out. You know, we're gonna try find him, and he's just gonna go, I'm over here. He's gonna have his own Christmas hat on, his own tinsel. He's gonna already be prepared. He obviously came past camp last night already to collect his Christmas jersey that Tandi knitted for him, because you know they're really close, those two. She knitted him a jersey with a picture of Kalamba on it. Family always comes together at Christmas, even when you don't like each other, you still come together. I remember having really interesting Christmases. My folks got divorced when I was quite... Ooh, there's the tracks of that male lion that came all the way from the south, I think straight up. So the same tracks we saw earlier. Sidders is on them still, I believe. But my folks got divorced when I was young, so we used to spend Christmas Eve at one part of the family and then Christmas Day at the other part. Every year it would change. It was always quite nice. 2 Christmases, 2 different families. Or should I say same family, but you know how it is. Oh, what was that, Darby? Anyway, someone to try and help us find Hosanna is the impala. But their ears aren't as big as mine, that's for sure. But we're seeing when it's windy like this, they can get quite jumpy. As Sidders was telling you that when it's windy, animals are quite often ready to jump around and move due to the fact that obviously when it is windy they can't hear what's going on. So you often find them getting quite nervous, and while the tracks have come straight past you at some stage in the night, it's always good to stop for a few minutes and just have a little listen with our kuru ears. Okay, so there's alarm calls coming from Mvubu that side, so we're going to come around this way, see if we can help follow up on that. Alarm calls of Nyala I'm hearing on the radio, so I'm going to let Tex know as well, because Texan is also from the lodge. He's out. Texan for Steve. What a beautiful day. Merry Christmas to you too, Tex. We had tracks of my daughter Ingwe on Pangolin heading east. And we're going to come around onto sort of Vulture's Nest to maybe give you a hand there if you can keep me posted on those alarm calls. So Nyala calling, just like we were talking about, these impala often are a good indicator of the movement of a predator, because I mean sometimes you need to track them, sometimes you can find them through alarm calls. And if you're in the Masai Mara, well, just scan your camera left and right, and well, you're gonna find a lion. You just have to shake a tree, it'll fall out.
Well, I already got another predator like what I had before, but this is one hyena, and I said earlier I don't want to deal with ones, I want to deal with twos, threes and above. And we're leaving the hyena to look at this male lion, and he is not alone. I guess there are two, and I think two is better than one. Now, the two boys, but one thing I've noticed, look at their bellies. They are massive, they are huge, and I do not know what they brought down. I want them to turn around and I'll be able to identify who they are, but at the moment I'm just doing a wild guess, and I think these are the two nomadic males that I saw the other day. One of them have half tail, and I guess the one on the left of your screen, but let them come a little closer and I'll be able to know whether I'm right or not. They're always a bit skittish and a bit shy, and I'm surprised they're just walking towards us on the road. This will be a very good Christmas gift for us here in the Mara Triangle. Well, brothers in arms, it's always easier to be in twos when it comes to hunting, and keep coming. I'm going to be finding out who they are. And again, as I said, my guess is they're the two nomadic males that had Joy. You say they look so big and heavy, and truly they are massive, massive. And not sure why they won't come so close to us, but my guess is, Joy, these are nomadic males. They don't belong here. They belong in Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. And I'll be correct because I can tell the one behind now has half a tail. So I saw them the other day. They're quite majestic. They're just about to pass over. Excuse my head. And there they go. So one big one there. And truly, yes. And the second one, that one has the half tail. Yes, I was correct. And these are two nomadic males that just came in from Serengeti in Tanzania. Let me see if we can just swing around and have one more look of these two males. And not sure where they want to go and where they're coming from, but I guess wherever they came from, they must have had a huge male. Let me do a very quick point, 3-point turn here, or maybe 4-point turn. The road is quite narrow. We have a bridge here, and yes, and with the final control, that was very awesome. And I think that's a great Christmas gift for all of us, and more so for all of you viewers out there. So I need Parker to turn very quickly. Okay, move, Parker. Excellent. The other day when I saw them, they did not spend more than 3 minutes with me and they just took off. Today I'm surprised. They're very friendly. I think they also have an idea it's Christmas and everybody needs to be given a treat for Christmas. So I want to go a little close to them. I will not push them a lot, but I would think there's a pool of water here, or water that has collected, and I guess they would be having a drink. So the one in the short tail is having a little pee in the middle of the road, and I'm looking at that short tail, not sure what might have happened to it. It got a wound that has not healed, so that is just a normal way. I doubt that's marking territory. It's just having a normal way, and looking on that stump over tail, it's still reddish at the very end, and I would guess that is a very recent, maybe a couple of weeks or months. It could have been a fight because it has not healed. If it could have been an old wound, I would guess it would have healed by now, but it hasn't. And the last time I saw him, it was still a bit red. Quite majestic. Animals have been known to walk on the road. Grateful, you are great, looks fresh. Thank you very much. So fresh, yes. And it could be a fight. I don't think it could have been an infection. I haven't seen lions losing tails that much. There's another lion here that we also call the half-tail of the Quichua males. There are 3 males that are always in, not far from where we are. And these two, from what I'm trying to gather, they might be trying now to overthrow or to have a takeover of a particular coalition. The last I saw them, they were having a little issue with another male here that we call Kipuli. And what Kipuli did, he sorted the one behind with the short tail in the morning, and he chased him for about 2 miles, and he took off, and he never came back. And I didn't see him until 4-5 days ago. Then the one in front with the full tail was mating with another female that we call butternut, a lioness that we call butternut, from a pride called the Owinos. And Kipuli came back in the morning and stayed very close to where they were mating, and he allowed them to mate for the better part of the day. And about 4 o'clock he thought, you know what, this is my home, this is my area, this is my territory, you need to go. And he dared him out, and they had a scuffle, for a fight rather, for a couple of minutes, and Kipuli sorted him also, and he took off. So I want to go a little closer, because the one with the full tail have sat, in the middle of the road, and hopefully the other one will do the same. And if that happens, that should be another great Christmas for us. So we go a little close. Christine, how are you today, and Merry Christmas? Yes, all what you're seeing on the road is elephant dung from last night, and I'm sure all what you're seeing are going to show you more. The Ellies could be having a very special dinner, or they had a special dinner for Christmas Eve last night. So we're going to park in a way that you can see the lions, Christine, and the elephant dung. So that you're very right. Oh, that's elephant dung. And Christine, just like the lions, animals have always known sometimes to stay on the road. So if elephants were walking here, definitely they would walk and do their business on the road. How majestic to see those two boys just walking away. Paula, very good question. How many bones are in a lion tail? Paula, please give me a homework, and that will be my homework for Christmas. I am not going to sleep until I get an answer for you, but unfortunately at the moment, Paula, it might have skipped in my head. But thank you to hear your name, Paula. Don't forget, I have your shuka. I had to put the red one today, Paula, but the green one is pretty close to me because I love it, and I had to put the red one for Christmas. And Merry Christmas, Paula. So the other one now is having a wee break, and sometimes even the other one sometimes so contagious. You see framing both of them having, this is number 2, I guess. Initially they were doing a wee, but I think this is serious number 2, and these two boys must have eaten a lot. So funny to do them doing it at the same time, isn't it? Well, it's like boys when we were young and in school. One boy would tell the teacher, I want to have a wee, and like in the next 30 seconds, he would have 10 boys saying they want to do the same. Yeah, that's really funny to have them do it that way. That's great comments, a bit ridiculous, says from the final control. So they keep walking, and I'm sure they could be heading to a particular direction. Not sure where they'd be going, because there's a lot of water where we are. Elephants, as you can see, the dung on the road there, they must have passed here, and they ate a lot, and there's a lot of water here, and they're not drinking the water. The lions have kept moving. And I'll just turn around and go to my initial destination, but in the meantime we'll take you to Sydney and see whether he is winning.
I am still checking the ground here. There is quite a lot of lion tracks going everywhere, all directions, so it's difficult to judge where exactly these lions might be, but I'm just trying to check all these roads. Maybe we're going to be lucky somewhere in this area. So I've been following these tracks since this morning, and the tracks are just going in circles. The lions can walk long distances. That is determined by what they are doing at that night. When they're hunting, then they can just keep going and go for long distances. So normally the lions, the majority of their time during the day, they spend it just sleeping. At night is when they are going to move, when they the temperature is good enough for them to go and hunt. So by this time of the morning, when it's overcast like this, they are still walking, and some of them, they are still hunting. So the males have got huge responsibilities, which includes territorial patrol. So they walk long distances going to patrol the boundaries. The new elephant dung for Christmas, I'm looking because quite a lot of them here now are eaten by the termites, and a lot, they are very much fresh. When they are fresh, they cannot make it. So I'm still looking for a nice elephant dung mic. So these tracks looks like they went much more towards the western side. I'm gonna have to now head much more towards west. So the Unkuhuma tracks, I went and checked as well. I didn't find anything. So now let's go back to Steve and see how his leopard search is doing.
Thanks, it is good luck in your lion search. Well, we had more tracks of that male leopard in the Umawati drainage just to our left-hand side. We followed them for a little bit, and then they seemingly disappeared into the thickets. So we're going to just do a little bit of a loop around, see if anything pops out of here while we scan the thickets left and right, because, well, the temperatures are really, really nice and cool. So good temperatures for a cat to be moving, or a pride of cats to be moving. The wind obviously masks their movement and also helps to blow the smell of their prey towards them. We know that Hosana loves to move around in the Mulwati, same as Tandi, and, well, Tingana. I suppose all the leopards, they love it. Love moving through the dry riverbed. It's the perfect leopard habitat. Lots of thickets, lots of bushes, lots of small prey animals in the form of duiker, nyala. Texan heard a nyala bark towards sort of north of the lodge not so long ago, and then we were on our way there, and then we found tracks again, which we then started following up on. So it might even be the same animal, because that drainage goes all the way back up towards Vuitela and Gallagher lodges. Every now and again we just stop and switch off. Who knows, we might be lucky. Sorry Emma, I can't hear you. I'm only joking. Everyone's wondering if the ears are helping with my tracking. Well, I'm not sure if you all realized, but they are very big and they're quite pink, and they really do lack the connective tissue over here. I mean, they look very cool, but they're not working very well. They're flapping around in the wind. I look ridiculous, but that's okay. That's okay. Christmas is in the air. Hello, Charlotte. Hang on 1 second. Just going to talk to Aubrey. Okay. Charlotte wants to know what or who gives the animals their names. Essentially, let's talk about the leopards. So if leopard is born here, for example, Kalamba was born here, or Sana was born here, or the Djuma guides who work on Djuma found them and the den. And then once they get to a certain age, then there's sort of like a protocol a whole lot of names get selected, generally local names that mean something relevant to the individual, and then they get put in, the name is there. Sana is the son of the Duke, and well, Tingana comes from the name the Shy One. I'm not sure where he came from, but these names will follow the leopards around the Sabi Sands, because, well, social media is quite a big thing these days. So if a leopard is found elsewhere and moves into the area like Hukumuri, well, the name follows him. But if they are born here, they generally get named by the people locally. So Tlalamba, meaning the playful one, and that was one of the names put forward by many of the Djuma guides and then selected. Obviously the lion prides, generally it's often got to do with where they originated from. So for example, the Birmingham boys came from a property in the Timavati north of where we are called Birmingham, and the Avokas come from an area very close to that area as well, called Avoca in the Timavati. So there's a general sort of way of how animals are named, just so that we can sort of keep tabs of who they are exactly. And well, the Unkuhuma pride were found many years ago by a friend of mine, Chris Stamper, who used to be a guide here, and they were found underneath a brown ivory tree on a termite mound, which is called Unkuhuma in Shangaan. So it's as simple as that, really. The place where they were found. So the Black Rock pride in the Mara, obviously Black Rock pride, Sausage Tree pride, I'm sure you can figure that out. And so the names are just to simplify where they're from, and maybe it's describing them in some way, the playful one or the little chief or whatever it might be. But anyway, no doubt David has a lot of information on the naming system up in the Mara, and maybe he could even enlighten you on the names of the North Clan.
Well, for those of you who could be joining us now, Merry Christmas from the Mara Triangle. And naming of animals, I think, is a very important and sometimes very sensitive subject, because we may have a particular group of people wanting to name a particular animal their name because of their liking, or because of what that animal does, or because of where that animal is found. But I've found, like, for example, here in SafariLive, we'll always incorporate the locals, because the locals make the whole difference. For example, I was talking about the lions we just saw earlier, but those were two nomadic males. We see them once in a while, they come in and go, so we don't have their history very well, we don't know their behavior, we do not know their pedigree or their lineage, who are their parents, whether they've been able to father other cubs around. But the one male I mentioned called Kipuli, Kipuli is a male we have followed for quite some time, and he has been known to mate with a particular girl that we call the Sausage Tree Pride. So Kipuli is like a local name, that means it's got like a little cat ear right there, and that's a local name. Hyenas, we got the North Clan hyenas, of course. The North Clan hyenas have been named on a particular theme of, say, food, which is perfect. Food is the same all over the world. So I think it's always a good idea when you name either hyenas or lions or elephants, you may have a particular theme that, you know, relates to the local people. Elephants could be a bit difficult because they come and go, but there are particular elephants we know, like near the Mara Triangle. There's one particular herd that has one female that has crooked tusks that go like that. It's the only one, and once in a while we see it, so we can always follow it up. Then there's one that's like the lion we just saw with the short tail, that have a very short stump of a tail. We also saw it last night. So at least for elephants, you can follow them and also give them names in that particular method. So we've arrived now at the Bant area, and the Bant area is a place that, if you look, had fire a few months ago, and it's always very good country for cheetahs. Once the rains came, the short rains came, some short grass, you know, popped up, which is very lush and very popular. and very popular with Thompson gazelles, and Thompson gazelles happen to be very popular with cheetahs. Well, Chris, good question. When was a leopard last spotted in the Mara? I would say about a month ago. I mean, they'll always be seen. We'll always get news from our friends, Chris, a leopard here, but maybe it could be a couple of miles from where you are. By the time you get there, it could be gone. You're not guaranteed. Unlike in Juma, where Chris, chances are, as you leave the camp and you get news of a leopard, 95% chances, Chris, you'll get it. But the Mara is huge. It's massive. And you might get news of a leopard in a particular area, and you'll always do your own judgment. Do you go or you don't? Because by the time maybe you get there, the leopard will be gone. But I think the last leopard I had that was pretty close to where I was about a month ago. We have leopards, but again, rather difficult to spot them in the Mara, unlike Juma. But we have leopards. Not sure where we have more leopards than the other, but I might have a wild guess and say we may be having more leopards here in the Mara than in Juma. Only that it's very difficult to spot them. They are also a bit shy comparing to the leopards in Juma. Excuse me. So this is one area once in a while we have seen cheetahs because the grass is always pretty short. Sammy James, you say the Mara is super green. It is super green. What I'll do, Super James, I'll also stop here and give you a small little pan of the Mara and see the greenness maybe in a better perspective. It's super green because we have just had the short rains the other day. They might have given us a little break because yesterday and today we haven't seen any rains. And this, to me, makes the Mara very colorful. Super James, just have a look at that. This is the area I'm saying, the burnt area. And as we watch that, I'm sure Sydney Mikosi has some bit of excitement.
Merry Christmas from the lions. You can see here I have got a very beautiful lion. As I indicated, the tracks were just going everywhere and it was difficult. These lions are just two here. The others, I don't know where they are. And that one has got a mange a little bit. I can see her on the neck. Look, you can see the other one is right there. Earlier on, I was here just about 20 minutes ago and the kudus were not settled, but we couldn't manage to see anything. And then we drove for about kilometers and kilometers and come back to the same area. Now they are by the open space. Oh, the other one wants to roar. This is an amazing sighting. Good morning, stations. This is Sydney. I have got the lions here two by the sandy patch. So these lions, I'm not too sure if they are part of the Mangeni, but I can see that one. You can see he's got some mange there between the ears and the front arm. You're more than welcome. Thank you. So these lions, according to the tracks, I can tell that they've been trying to hunt here because their tracks, they were just going everywhere and these tracks went for a long distance. You are more than welcome. Thank you. Some other vehicles, they are also having an interest to come and see these Christmas present. So mange, it is a problem as a result of a parasitic mite. So these mites, they transmit these diseases disease, which is a contagious disease. And unfortunately, the animals who walk together, play together, drink together, and sleep at the same place, chances of getting this mange, they are very much high. And mange can also be transmitted to the human beings from the very same mice. So when we have the mange, we have to also be careful because of using someone's clothes can also cause the disease, and using the same bed as well can also be transmitted through some sexual intercourse. Joe, the last time I saw the Unkuhuma, it was a few days ago when they were going towards the private concession. They are still part of the Unkuhuma pride, as well as one Talamati male. So which is something interesting, because normally lions are so very strict. When it comes to the change in terms of the membership, only when there is a newborn, the membership will change, or when there is a death, that is when it can change. But these ones are showing us something. The Mangeni males are forcing themselves to the Unkuhumas. The only one I've seen welcomed it is the Talamati. Maybe Talamati is not very far in terms of the relationship with the Unkuhumas. Maybe they're closely related. So you can see that the tail does not have the... Melissa, that is a very interesting question, and I'm going to give you a very complicated answer. The lions, yes, females are responsible for hunting, but sometimes you find that the male lions are solitary. And when they are solitary, it means it's time for them to look after themselves. Male lions do form what is called a coalition. Lions are the only cats with two completely different social structures, which is the pride, consisted of the daughters as well as the cubs. And you've got the coalition, which is just a group of males. These lions, males, they do hunt, but it's not much of their responsibility as the females. So you can see that the tails does not have the tassel. That black part doesn't have that because of this mange problem. So mange causes the hair loss. And the animals, they experience quite a lot of itching, and you will see some having a lot of blood as well. So this blood contact is the one which can also cause the transmission when these lions are feeding together and playing together. So that one, the one which is on the right, if we can go to that one, is trying to call, but no one is answering. Maybe they're not just two, there must be other males, other lions maybe in the area. This one is on a lookout, and I can see that he's trying to vocalize all the time. It's just that the roar is not very loud. While I'm waiting to see who's going to come here, who is being called by the one who's trying to roar, let's cross over to the Masai Mara and see what David is having.
Well done, Sydney. At least we got some lions, we got some cats to smile for over Christmas in Joma. That's very exciting. Not sure it was yesterday morning where Sydney was getting one cat after the other. Or the other morning he had Hosanna, and later on he had Tingana. I guess hopefully that lady good luck that you had yesterday will follow you today, Sydney. And I might be requesting you today, we might compete on Christmas Day, see what cats we see in both places. We've got some antelopes here that sometimes are popular with leopards. I'm talking about the toppies, and I say today is a family day, so all the animals I'll be looking for must be in the shape of a family. I don't want to stop for individuals, and I would imagine there could be some males and females here. I don't know where the youngsters are. These ones don't have the young ones, but I'm sure maybe another pride, or rather in another herd, I might get the young ones. Such glorious light we got at the moment as they sojourn and maneuver through the savannah of the Mara Triangle. I've always liked to see them because they're different tones of color on their bodies. Unlike most antelopes, we'll have one particular color. These ones, the toppies, will have two, a little brown and a grayish on their legs. See how they trot there as they run. Whoops, too fast. Little practice in the morning. When days are tough and predators go for them, they need always to be prepared. They'll always walk and look. So I've always compared toppies to the sesebes in South Africa, and these are two species of animals that you'll find here and not there, and we don't got the sesebes in East Africa, and they don't have the toppies in South Africa. Quite social are the toppies, and that's why you see them going in herds. Cold breeze, I agree with you. The way they're looking, and especially in the light, they are cold breeze, is just amazing. And what they would maybe do the rest of the day is to spend where they are, eating and grazing. Berg rider, why do they have patches, or the black patches, or the, I would say, more greyish on their legs? I think that's through evolution, and maybe my only guess is it would help them to blend in. I mean, they face lots of challenges of predators, lions, leopards, cheetahs. So I would say, those patches or the black patches you're talking about would help them to blend in. If they would stay next to a bush, like you see the trees in the background there, if they just stay right on the edge of that little forest, it could be difficult, I would guess, for the predators to spot them. And I would say that could be the only reason they have them, to help them to blend in and maybe confuse or keep away the predators. And being, herbivores, grass is big for them. Rarely you see them going for branches or trees or leaves. They tend to graze the better part of the day. Pretty different antelopes comparing to the others. When you see their young ones, they'll always have one color, one tone color, and they don't have the patches or the grey patches that you see on their legs. Not sure what they're looking at. They might have got an attention of something. Sometimes they'll see a warthog just run and they panic and just find out it was a false alarm. There's an egret, I would guess, that was flying in the background there. There was some white bird. I just guessed they were egrets, not very sure. Yeah, they must be cattle egrets because there's a buffalo way in the background there. And egrets have always been known to tag along with the buffaloes, because if the buffaloes moving the grass, they keep disturbing the grass. Taz, you're asking, how do you tell the age of a toppy? It's not difficult. Once you know they do not have, say, the grey patches on their legs, you can tell most likely those calves are below 6 months. And 6 months and above, that's when the patches start forming. But once they are fully grown out, it would become rather difficult to tell their age, ideally. But when they're young, you can tell, because the youngsters, as I said, when they're born, they do not have that grey patch on their bodies. All right, Toppy, you need to keep eating because I'm not very far from the area I wanted to go. And Sydney's lions, I think, are exciting him this Christmas morning.
I have got this lion here, and this young male, this young lion here is calling all the time. And the call is not even traveling long distance. Listen to that. He has been doing it for a while now. And this is amazing. I'm just waiting to hear if it's going to roar again. So beautiful. Sally, this is one of those sightings. This is a Christmas sighting. So you can hear that the call is not yet strong enough. Normally you will hear this kind of animals roaring nicely and loudly when they are matured. Mostly after 4 years is when they can be able to produce that very strong roars. You can see he's trying by all means to roar, but the call is not coming out. Maybe he's just now starting to learn to roar because it's like it's a game to this little one. I've never seen the lion roaring consecutively like this. Every 2 minutes it's roaring. So you can see that he's enjoying doing so. So when the animals are roaring normally, it's about the territorial purposes. Males, they like to advertise the presence in their territory. So they use it in order to warn the others that if you come here, you will know me very well. This is my place. Listen to that. So they're listening. Maybe there's some other males in the area. Dory is not yet a fully grown lion. That is why you can see and you can hear the roar as well. But when the testosterone level is strong enough, when he is ready to start challenging the other males for territorial purposes, you will even hear that the call is so loud in such a way that females can also be attracted when he is roaring. I don't think there's a female which can be convinced by this kind of a call. This is too small. So the females are interested on big lions. So this one is still very much young. It's very small. You can see the size. So when they're just about 2 years and above, you see the mate starting to come out. I am not too sure which one is this, but maybe it's Richno's daughter, as you indicated. The lions are still confusing a lot, same as the hyenas. To me, they look the same, but I know they are not the same. So you can see that the one who is trying to roar all the time is in a very good condition. Laura Moore, listen to that. We can only hear this on Christmas Day. We don't hear this very often. Yes, we have been hearing lions roaring on different occasions, but not as much as this. This is just happening all the time. And this is another roar. This is not the roar we are used to every time. We used to these very loud roars. But listen to that. Soft roar. You can see that she's trying to pick up any movement or the noise coming from that direction. So maybe there's other lions here. I'm not too sure, but what I can tell you is that the tracks we saw from the beginning is just 2 pairs. It was these ones. But the roars last night, it was coming from different directions. These lions were challenging each other or answering each other from long distances. So we cannot guarantee that these are the only 2 lions in this area where we are. Puma, the avokas yesterday after the honey badger, just 2 minutes after the honey badger, when I was driving out of the honey badger sighting, there was an avoca male approaching, just about 20-30 meters away from the honey badger with the tortoise last night, yesterday morning. As I was driving out from that honey badger, there was an avoca male coming to approach. It's just that it was shortly after I closed the show. So yesterday it was just about interesting animals and different cats. Look at that. So you can see that this one is on a very good condition. So we're going to follow them and see where they're going. Maybe they're going to lead us to where the rest of the lions are. But I can see there they might... So we are seeing the impala standing there listening to them because that one has been vocalizing a lot. So animals, they are now paying attention to these lions. We might start hearing warning signals. Now you can see that the condition on that one is different. That one, he looks very much thin. He lost quite a lot of weight. Maybe that is due to the mange we are seeing there. So when the skin is irritated, you will see them rubbing the body against the ground, sometimes against the trees. So it's just going now to the shade there maybe. So now from just a small roar to a loud bird.
Rattling, rattling, rattling. Sisticula is wishing us all a very Merry Christmas as it sits on top of the tree and has the very beautiful and characteristic call of this bird. The birds are all calling the morning. They're all enjoying a nice Christmas morning as well. The sun has only just come out. And it is the morning. And it is time to declare territory. Declare breeding rights. And so nice to see the rattling sisticula calling like that. Oh, and there is a roller on the right here, Darby, that's busy bombing a Wahlberg's eagle. So not only are the birds calling territory, they're also competing with predators. The rollers like to live in cavities on the dead tree there, Darby.
Right.
There we go, one of the Wahlberg eagles. Breeding migrant that have come down. I just had one of the rollers bombarding it a moment ago. It sounded like a purple roller as he's shouting. Had a quick view of it. You can easily see the Wahlbergs have got that very nice little crest on the back of the head. Quite a small beak relative to most of the raptor species that we see, but you can see the feathers are all the way down the legs. So we are still, we got tracks again of what we think to be Osana in the drainage line of the Mwati, and we've been following up, and hopefully he's going to just materialize around the corner. But for now our search continues. But thankfully Sydney has found some lions, and David wants to compete for cats, does he? Well, David, you're going to have to find a serval, because if we find a leopard we're going to trump you. If you find a leopard though, David, you can win. You win hands down. Do you agree, Darby? You don't get many, don't see many leopard up there. I know David has seen a few. I saw 2 when I was back there in February, but this last time, up there for almost 3 months, not a single leopard. I saw a few remains of kills that they'd made up a very tall shepherd's tree, a wildebeest of all animals. Never seen a leopard catch a wildebeest here. We're just driving along, got to pop out. Oh, we've done 2 big loops. It's going to be time shortly for me to hand the reins over to my young colleague in arms, Mr. Holly, to wow you with the wonders of Christmas and to tell you about his history and what his family do on a day like this one. Okay, those impala are looking. I am sure he's here, hey? I am sure he's here. Are you getting any comms, Dave? I haven't heard anything from Emma there. Just beeping. Hello, Emma. Sorry, I thought you'd forgotten about me. Anyway, we're just below the dam wall here, where Dave is looking. And those impala were just looking into the thickets. We give one last chance to find this beautiful cat. No doubt as soon as I hand the reins over to Holly, Osana's going to go, here I am. Okay, well, we're going to come around Voyatelapan. The impala looking quite relaxed at the moment. There was no reports back of, well, the tracks are definitely coming straight up. So let's see what we can find. In the meantime, back to David in the Masai Mara.
Well, I have not been very lucky yet, but I've gotten to where I wanted to be. And I'm talking about the Sausage Republic area, where I'm so convinced now these cats have definitely deserted this place. Now, I'm talking about a particular female which we thought was pregnant, and it must have moved. I want first to look on particular trees that we call fig trees from a distance and see whether I saw my own things or I saw a rock, because I have some elephants on the way and I want to see if the camera can get there. We've got those elephants there ahead of us, and way in front I saw some brown things. I want to find out if they were actually, excuse me about my head, any lions or not, but not anything I see there. I just see elephants there. And from their behavior, having the young ones there doesn't mean or doesn't show any indication of cats around. Elephants, the adults, have always known not to take any chances with lions, because lions have been known to go for elephant babies once in a while. If a baby is abandoned or the baby remains or lags behind for a couple of minutes, lions, when they are short of what they would easily hunt, they have been known to take every opportunity that comes on their way, and they bring a baby elephant down. Well, it's just the African elephants, and just like the tortoise we saw, enjoying this lush greenness that we got now after all the short rains we have been having. And you always tell animals that are in good spirit For example, elephants, as you see them flicking the tails from one side to the other. And this is the beauty of us just watching them quietly and maybe give them their space. We are able to do this every day we are out in the bush. Not once we have seen the sausage tree pride around this area, even where those elephants are, either, sunbathing themselves or just walking around or playing. They have 3 cubs in that pride, but I got a feeling because of that one particular female that should have dropped, I guess, I could be wrong again, should have dropped her cubs now. They might have relocated to a different area. See, there's that elephant that seems to have a half tail also. I was talking of some animals the one in the middle there, you see she got a half tail. I was talking of animals here that you could easily follow and identify. So if there will be any other mark on this particular herd, we can easily follow it because elephants live in families, and we can of course definitely give that one a particular name, call it half-tailed elephant or something like that. And they'll be here, they'd go maybe to Serengeti because that has happened a lot. And then if we'll have friends across the border in that country, they'll see the same Ellis and they'll give us some update. There's a particular park in Kenya called Amboseli National Park, and there's a lady there who has been researching elephants for so very many years, and sometimes she has collared the elephants just to. She knows very many elephants. She says by face, just by looking at them, she can easily identify them, which I think that could be quite a challenge for some of us. The 2 big trees you see there, they're the fig trees I was talking about. That's where I saw some rocks, or what I would call, animal-looking rocks. I thought they were lions, but actually they were not. They were just small little boulders below those fig trees. Quite interactive safari that we do. Remember, folks, should you have any questions or any comments, send them through #SafariLive on Twitter. The wind is very still here and so tranquil and so quiet. Back in the background there, that's the Olororo escarpment. It forms one of the arms of the Mara Triangle. See how beautiful it looks. And just like the tree I was talking about earlier, where I started my morning little dance, this escarpment featured prominently in the same movie Out of Africa. The same time they were filming that tree. So when you go all the way to the other side, now we got people, we got villages. Back to our elephants, and see how beautiful the green is. And elephants, being mixed feeders, eating grass, leaves, twigs, they have a lot of choice. But I think now this particular herd, because of the calves they would prefer to eat the short grass now, which will be very healthy, I would guess, for the youngsters there. They have no reason to go to struggle to bring trees down to get the cambium, unless they'll be looking for a particular mineral or for a particular, vitamins in those trees. It's easy just to eat out in that open area with lots of grass. I'm trying to imagine seeing a lioness or a lion walking across that plain there. It will make my day. It's already made by those 2 males we saw before. And this looks very colorful. It might look like a movie set. I'm happy all of you are enjoying it. And just seeing these animals grazing peacefully. This is, again, as I said, one big privilege we got in Africa, and especially for we guides, being out here every day and watching this is such a good feeling. I don't think I could ask for a better job. Got some antelopes in the background there, not sure which ones they are. Very good. I'll keep searching, go to a different angle or different areas. Those egrets jump there, enjoying all the insects the elephants are disturbing, and then they tend to eat them. Sydney still got his lions in Joma.
So you can see that I've got the one Mangeni male who is looking very tired at the moment. Mangeni male, it has been confirmed that this is part of the Mangeni male, and the other one we saw trying to do some roar, she is part of the Unkuhuma. So the Mangeni male is looking very much thin, but now he's just under the little marula tree there just to enjoy some shade. Don't get surprised, I am not alone at the sighting. The other vehicles are just now arriving, and not just one. Oh, there's some movement there as that female we saw there, part of the Unkuhuma, is now deciding to move much more towards that direction. So apologies for the other vehicle by the picture. We wanted to show you the intentions of that female. So you can see that now she's going that side. Obviously, this Mangeni male here is going to stand and start following. Oh, I can hear animals are starting to give some warning calls. And I don't think her mood is on hand. Maybe it's just about moving from here to somewhere else. So I don't want to miss any action here. I'm going closer. I don't want to miss any action as I'm not too sure what her intention is. That will be very great. At least if they get a meal, they will settle down for a while. We might see them for a couple of days at the same area. So you can see that this female is just sniffing some of the trees there. Remember, some of these males, they like to come here and spray the scent marks. By doing that, I'm sure the female is getting quite a lot of information about a territorial holder in the area. So I can see that this one is missing the other pride members, the Unkuhuma pride members. So I'm sure she's missing their presence at the moment. And by sniffing that, she must be putting information about the one exactly who left this. She must be knowing who deposited the scent there by now. And you can see that the bellies are empty, so she must be very hungry by now. She is indeed a lovely female, not that very old, in a very good condition. So she's now going back to the direction where that Mangeni male is. Or maybe she's looking for her own shade. So I'm going to pull back again and reposition so that we can have a good sighting. So the animals are very much aware of the presence of these lions here. I can see that the impalas are just standing very far, not feeding, just looking at this direction. So now I am going to go back to the female and see if we can have a good sighting. So now let's quickly go to Koli, who is with a spotted cat.
Hosanna, unana. We managed to find Hosanna, unana. Oh, my name is Dolly and welcome. Thank you, Steve, for giving me this opportunity. And you've mentioned that you're gonna find Hosanna the minute we exchange the seats. This is Safari Live. We are coming to you live in the Kruger National Park right here this morning, Christmas Day. What a wonderful day with this spotted cat. For any questions and comments, you can catch us on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter or YouTube chat stream. We've been looking for this young chap over here all this morning. He walked far distances from where we saw his fresh tracks. What a wonderful Christmas morning. He's busy licking himself. I'm also excited. I'm top of the moon this morning. Oh, what a big yawn. I'm sure he's saying, at long last, they've managed to find me. These guys can well camouflage. We were helped by the alarm calls from the impalas. There's a head of impala not far away from the scene. We have the francolins. We also had the monkeys that were shouting non-stop. Also a squirrel really helped us. This is so breathtaking. Oh, Merry Christmas, Hosanna. Okay, Bear, thank you for your first question on Christmas. While I'm alive, okay, Bear, how old is Hosanna? Hosanna is still a young chap, as his name means little chief. He will be turning 3 years next year, which is 2 months from now, on February. But he doesn't look as young because you can see these leopards can grow bigger in such a young age. If you are not familiar with cats, you might think this cat is old because his beak, or here he moves. Let's see, what are you up to, boy? We need to catch up with you and see what are you doing this Christmas. Hopefully you'll get a meal for Christmas, and sadly maybe an impala. Or I'll move a little bit back and see where is he up to. Drainage line, so squeeze in between the trees here and see whether I'll give every viewer a nice Christmas Hosanna view. David, are you good there?
Yep.
Okay. I can see the tail is twitching there. Oh. Okay, let's see what it's doing. Oh, there's a big lock over there. And see, let me move forward. Maybe straight down. Okay, sorry about that. I'm trying to get a nice view for you guys, but he's stationary now. I'll go down to a dry riverbed. Yes. You might be looking for food this morning because it's Christmas, and obviously everyone deserves a very good meal on Christmas Day. That's what we do at home with my grandmother there, preparing food early morning for everyone because I have such a big family. And then everyone comes home around Christmas Day. Hello, Hesono. Lovely, right? This is so lovely. David, very good. Yeah, let's switch off here. Hello, Hosanna. I don't think you'll find any male around here because they've already spotted you, these impalas. But, oh, he's yawning again and he's saying, you're taking chances, my friend. I can get every male I want. I can sneak in there. I can even find one of the baby impalas there. Please don't go for a baby impala today. It's Christmas Day, Hosanna. So, while we watching Hosanna here, let's go and see Sydney with the lions and see what they're up to.
So you can see that I am now driving very close to the young female from the Unkuhumas. They're now heading much more towards the Triple M, so they might cross the border at any time. So I'm just going to keep following so that we can have the last look before they get disappeared. Where these two lions are heading to, it is an area where we have we have last seen the Unkuhumas entering a few days ago. So it means the Unkuhumas are not back yet. And I heard them last night. There was quite a lot of different calls. I could hear that is a pride. So they were calling a lot last night. So you can see the Mangeni male is also following. The young female is leading this male behind. So maybe he's going to recover after having a good meal, as now there's quite a lot of food for these animals. I was hoping that these two lions were going to take us to the rest of the pride. So I can see the rest of the pride, it is still on the other side. So it means where they are going to cross, you might find that it's not far away from where the others are. Maybe they've caught something, because the day I saw these Unkuhumas crossing to the other side, they were looking very hungry. So their bellies were not full at all. So we are going to have a great sighting now when these lions are crossing. I can see that they are just about to reach an area where they are going to cross at any time here. So that young female is leading the way. It means she knows where the others are. They are going for a Christmas dinner. I agree. I strongly agree with that. So they are just about to get to the border. I'm just going to come out here so that you can see, because they are going to cross at any time soon. So we are going to have a last look at the moment on these lions when they are crossing. So that is going to happen just now. We are on the road where they are going to cross from, and I can see them coming. So here they are. So I can see that the female is just about to cross here. So the male is coming right behind this female. So this is the border where this female is approaching at the moment. Ninamu, the fertility can be affected because of the loss of body weight. So the loss of body weight can be an issue. These animals are much more fertile when the nutritional status is very high. So that's why if you can check the dominant males, they are so fertile because they eat quite a lot of nutritious meal, which then helps them to defend and to gain more strength so that they can defeat others. This kind of a body weight, I can promise you, this animal, it will be very difficult for this male to challenge any other male. Has to be fertile so that he can overcome the challenges. So now let's go back to Koli and see his Christmas presents.
Yes, this is happening here live in Juma Sabi Sands in the Kruger National Park. This is amazing, and I can't believe that we are next to this beautiful cat. We're really enjoying the sighting this morning. This is what I'm talking about. This is a very great Christmas present for you all. Look, there's, I think it's seeing something. It's seeing something. Hosanna, what are you up to? I hope you'll give us some action this morning. I can see his belly is not full, so he's really in a hunting mode. As the weather is so perfect, it's not hot, it's chilled, nice and warm. And you can see the tail is twitching there. It simply means he's suspecting something, or he's trying to read something. That's why he's trying to figure something out. Let me follow him a little bit. I'll move forward so that I'll give a nice, get a nice view over there. And please, if you see cars on the screen, Proud cat mama, what a nice question this morning. You can see cars there on your screen because we are not alone. We have some guests trying to get Christmas shots. Yes, proud mama, there are advantages and disadvantages of being a cat that lives alone, because you really need to do a lot of hunting alone, and then you don't have any help from any other member. If you are lazy to hunt, then you are gonna sleep on your belly empty on that particular day. But it's also nice to be a solitary hunter because you don't have to share a meal with anyone. But what's happening now, Hosanna has been robbed kills by his dad, Tingana. So they've been sorry about that. I'm trying to get a nice view over here. We have cars around, so Davi, you'll tell me when to get a nice spot. Yes, indeed, Hosanna has been difficult this morning. Maybe he can sense that it's Christmas or something, so he's giving us this hard time and difficult time. Yes, it's been a little bit of a grange. Yes, indeed. He's drinking some water there, but there's a tree that's making our sighting difficult here. Thank you, Davi. I'm trying to get a nice view over here. Oh, these cats can well camouflage. I can't really see a thing there. Are you good? Thank you. Can you spot something around these bushes? Ah. Yes, he is drinking, but it's so difficult to get a nice view because there's a tree that's on this pen over here. He's been walking all morning, that's why he deserves a very nice and long drink. That's what he's doing now. Here's the tree you can see here. That's why we have a difficult time to view this cat properly as he's well camouflaged in there. But thank you, Davi, for doing such a wonderful job, man. Really appreciate it. Oh, Max, you want to know how far leopards can walk in a day? It depends how on the mood of the leopard and have they been eaten for days, or they're hunting, or they're just doing some loop around its territory, doing some territorial markings. So when they are hungry, they might walk long distances or vast distances to get a prey or to catch some prey. And when they mark their territory, it depends how big is their territory. Sorry. So they must walk around the flanks of their territory. But sometimes they can get lazy, these guys. They can sleep all day long and they start moving at night. Lisa, what a nice question again. You need to know how often or how many times a leopard needs to drink water a day. That also depends because they don't really rely on water when they have a kill, especially a big kill like a nyala or a young kudu there, because they will get that moisture from the flesh. But when it's hot, very hot, and they don't have a meal, they will drink mostly in the morning or late afternoon when they start moving. Or it depends on whether how far is that water hole or that dam or a river. He's cooling himself down now because he's just lying next to this pen where there's mud. I'm sure he's I can see him very clear. So while he's lying there on this clay here, I'm trying to get a nice view, and then let's go to the mother and see what they have for us.
Well, I think I've lost the competition this morning with the sporting of Hosanna. I thought I'd be doing better with my 2 male lions, but I now highly doubt. But Steve gave me a challenge. If I could get a Savo cat, then my rating might go up or my points might go higher. So that's why I've decided to come to this particular area to chance on a Savo cat. If I get one, I'll be like, yes. But as yet, no luck. Some very nice breeze now coming through. And what I'm thinking, as much as I'm looking for Savo cat, I want also to chance on a cheetah. We all got this sad news the other day that Naratoi, one of the cheetahs around this area, passed on. Could be about a month ago now. And she was a daughter of Kakenya. And, you know, I would say she died pretty young. 4.5 years is very young. Cheetahs have been known to live 10, 12 years sometimes. So for about 4.5, she didn't make it to her 5th birthday. But again, you know, these things happen. We hear she had some brain condition, some brain injury. She was suffering from glaucoma, low blood sugar. And for that reason, not much the vet doctors would do. But Kakenya, the mother, is still alive. She's still around. hopefully we should be seeing her either during this festive season for Christmas or maybe during the New Year. And the good news are Naratoi left behind, at least she was able to raise a fully grown cub. She raised a young male, so would be happy also to know where that male would be. Things happen. She was quite a favorite cheetah with us. We had been following her for quite some time. Melissa, so sad, yes, and I wouldn't have wanted to tell you that on a Christmas day. But again, we need to share some of these things, and Melissa, they get behind us. But again, you know, as I say, the things that would happen, but the mother is still there, the other sister is still there. So Kenya is the last one that we saw around this area before we lost Naratoi. But even the last we saw Naratoi, Melissa, she did not look to be in very good condition. She looked a bit thin and her walking was not very good. She was even struggling to get food for herself. But in a closer examination, the vet doctor said, you know, she was suffering from blood sugar. Diet monkey, that's a very good question. How do they get the low blood sugar? I mean, for me, I would say that's very difficult to explain. I mean, cheetahs are carnivores, and unlike us human beings, we're able to explain how you get, you know, either low blood sugar or higher blood sugar because of the insulin issue. Cheetahs, being mammals, also got insulin, and I'm sure there must have been an imbalance on the insulin. But when the post-mortem was done by the vet doctors, that's what they said. And, you know, the other professionals, we just had to believe them in what they said. But that's very strange when you'd wonder, how do they get low blood sugar? I mean, you know, what else could they eat to bring the blood levels up, the blood sugar levels up? I don't know, because they're basically carnivores and the main food will be meat. You know, we human beings will always be told, reduce this amount of sugar or raise this amount of sugar in your food or watch your diet. But for the animals, I think, is quite a challenge. I would guess if maybe the vet doctors would have known that way before, they would have been able to arrest the situation. But again, that would mean, you know, babysitting Naratoi or a cheetah and feeding it, which I think that could be too much interference in an animal's life. So I would say fate is fate, and what happened is what was meant to happen. This particular area is one of my best areas to drive in because it's always open. And even when we get the long rains, the grass here, for one reason or another, doesn't get very high. It remains this short. There's certain areas where in the Mara Triangle, when the wildebeest come, they'll always come trampling on the grass, walking on it, eating it, rolling on it, and bringing it this short. But this particular area have always remained as it is, regardless of the season or the animals around. It's one area that's magnificent, especially if you see cheetahs walking across the plains or even lions. Even the big game, I mean, talking of elephants and buffaloes or giraffes standing up, and you watch them from a distance on the horizon. They always come out very picturesque. Also very good area for bastards, and especially the Kori bastard. They'll always get lots of flowers to feed on. It's a little hammerkop here, I guess. Is blending in very well here and just feeding right. I'm not sure you can see it. Looks like part of the stone, but I just saw it turn its head. Let's see if we can have a glimpse of that hammerkop there. I might move forward a little bit. And there she is. It's just feeding there. Sorry about my head. I'm just trying to get this hammerkop. And I'm sure she's just fishing and waiting for the frogs or any invertebrates there in the water. Hello, hammerkop. Notice how she blends in very well in the invertebrate there, in the crustaceans, in the worms or the mollusks that she'll find for herself, taking advantage of her long beak. Sometimes they have to disturb the water with their feet just to make sure they get the prey moving. You can see the head that looks like a hammer, cop, hammerhead. I think that is in Dutch. They'll always go in pairs, but she is alone at the moment. Frogs, fish, main diet. Pretty small birds, but they have been known to build the largest nests in Africa. I don't know why they build such huge nests that have been patronized by other animals like leopards. Where did you go now? She just disappeared in there. And occasionally some of, as I said, some of the nests they make have been patronized by leopards. And a classic example maybe could be Hosanna when he was young.
From the Mara side, we are beating you down with points. We have found 2 cats this morning. We started with the lions, now the leopard. Hopefully you'll find yourself a leopard. Then if you manage to find a leopard, then I will rest my case that you guys are leading. The Vov gave me some blessings just when we were swapping seats. He said, I have a feeling that if I put you on a hot seat, you'll find this leopard. It's just around here. And definitely we managed to spot one. Sorry, the Vov. Next time you'll have your leopard sighting. But you have to wait for another year because I have Hosanna's Christmas sighting. You have to wait for another year. That's gonna be 2019. Hosanna is nicely relaxed there. He's trying to cool himself down because he was walking vast distances. We can see he's lying next to this pen where it's muddy, so that moisture there will deal with his body heat. I'm not sure whether he will lie here for a long time because his stomach looks angry. James, I didn't get your questions clear, but I think I'll try and figure it out because which of the leopards I haven't seen yet? Okay, I haven't seen. It's Hukumuri, Anderson. Those are 2 leopards I haven't seen, but yet. But now I've seen Hosanna, Tingana, Tlalamba, and Tandi. They gave us this beautiful sightings. I'll never forget because these cats, they are around here. This is Tingana's territory, so they're living under Tingana's territory. That's why we managed to see them most of the time. I've heard that Hukumuri is a nice cat, and also Anderson is a nice cat, but I can't wait to see them and have a little chat, maybe man to man, you know. Oh, flies are disturbing you, my boy. I think you have to move from this thicket area there and start moving so that you can have a hunt. You didn't really deserve a Christmas meal here. But I think he's like he doesn't want to show us the action this morning. He was walking all the way from the other side to here. Yes, indeed. This is a beautiful sighting. You can hear I think you can hear the noises from the cameras from the other cars. Trying by all means to get all the nice shots. Oh, nice one there. Oh, here he goes. Thank you for giving us some action there. We'll try to follow him if he moves. Probably he's on a hunting mode. Let's hope so. Oh, what a nice question came in. Why this leopard is alone? Where's his family? His family is around. He's still a young chap. He's still living under his father's territory, but they meet sometimes when there's a meal involved, more especially when he has a hunt. So his father will come and rob him. And then he's going to leave. Oh, let me move forward. Sorry about that. I will try to communicate with Dave here so that he will give me thank you there. Yes, continuing in answering your question, leopards, they are solitary animals, but since I've been in Juma, they are showing me flames. I've seen leopards in a group. And the group of leopards, it's called the leap of leopards. So sometimes some things written in books, it's not really happening, but most of them it does happen. Good here. Lavender, Hosanna will start sowing at the age of 4 or 5, but it might be later than that because he has to start to be a nomadic male. He has to be looking for a territory. He has to be a big male, and he has to manage to fight with the other cats to compete for territorial rights. So now he's still a young boy. He's not sowing. Only his father is sowing because he's owning the territory. Hopefully we're gonna hear Hosanna sowing in this place if he manages to stay at that age. Only if his father is deceased, I can say that. But he might not be seen after 3.5 or to 4 years because he needs to start looking for his territory. He's doing something there. I think it's smelling something there, or maybe he's smelling other cats that may be in this territory, or maybe he's smelling his father's territorial markings. Oh, that feels nice. This is a toilet paper tree. Oh, yes. I'm also in a good mood. I'm happy. I'm excited. I don't even know what to say. I'm running out of words seeing Hosanna in the Christmas morning. He's giving us some action, a little bit of action, but not a hunting action. You can see now he's scratching himself. He was rubbing himself against this tree, which is called the African weeping wattle. It doesn't have thorns, so it's smooth. He got a nice feeling while doing that. He's going back to the drainage line now. I think he loves being around the dry river beds because it's nice down there. There's a lot of trees, so there's shade. So they keep themselves cool down there. So I'll try to move forward. Lisa, leopards need to eat each and every day if they had a small kill, like a squirrel, a rabbit, or something. And then they need to drink each and every day if there's availability of water around, or if there's no food they've been eating for a while. And then they will eat after 4 days if they have a big meal like impala or nyala or kudu or something. There's Hosanna there. Yeah, I can see him. Can you see him there? It's right there. Can you see him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to the thicket on the other side. So I'll try to squeeze in here. While I'm trying to figure what's happening here, let's go to the Mara with David to have an update.
Well, funny, Hosanna has gone, or is on the move, and I haven't seen something interesting in this particular area. And what I'd want to see is a cheetah. The only thing that would top my Christmas day would be a cheetah, because, as I said earlier, this world, this ground is cheetah country, or at least, or if I'm lucky, look for some Thompson gazelles. Thompson gazelles might lead me to a cheetah, but at the moment, zero. But the one area I want to come back to this afternoon, because from a distance, I've seen lots of Tommies or Thompson gazelles, an area that I need to take a bigger or a longer loop to get there, because the current road now is a bit difficult to penetrate through, and I do not want to get stuck. If the short trains will now stop, it might take another 1 week or so for the roads to dry and come back to normal. But as it is now, you cannot venture or try and go anywhere, otherwise you'll get stuck. Well, the night before last, we have friends of ours at camp close to where we stay in our camp, where the guests got stuck in the bush, and what happened is the vehicle that went to try and tow them out also got stuck. So that one stopped there. Then the third vehicle, what he did, it came and towed out the second vehicle, and then they called the game rangers. The game rangers came. Of course, even them, they could not want to take any chances because it was very soggy and very slippery. So the game rangers came out of their car, of course, with their guns, and walked to the vehicle that was stuck earlier, got the guests out, plus the guide, and put them in the game ranger's car, and took them back to their camp. That's what happened. So, and that one particular vehicle stayed overnight in the bush, and I think they got it yesterday morning. So it's things that would happen here, and some of the joys we get when it rains heavily. I got a feeling we might be coming to the end of that short train. It was really short, but very heavy. So we only have to wait for the land or for the ground to dry, and then once it dries, we'll always do our normal thing of venturing anywhere. So the small roads that we usually use to go left and right, we have not been taking them of late because, as I said, we don't want to take any chances. Such beautiful weather at the moment has warmed up. The mist that we had before is all gone. Just enjoying the cool breeze as I drive around. I had talked of a bastard earlier. I might show you one here that's just about to disappear somewhere, and then we're gonna keep moving. Bastards are common in the Mara, but this particular one, sometimes it takes us days to spot it because it's the largest bastard that we got here, and it's called the Cory bastard. Good bastard, not BA but BU, and that's the Cory bastard. The largest bastard we got around. Very heavy in flight, one of the heaviest birds to see fly. Tom, good question. Do cats cross the Mara River during migration? Yes, they do, and unfortunately we have seen some of them being washed away. We have had one particular cheetah called Malaika, which we haven't seen for quite some time. And the last time it was seen, a friend of mine was telling me she had I guess two young ones, two youngsters, two cubs, as we leave our Cory bastard, and I think they're almost fully grown. And I believe there were two boys. Yes, I think there were two males. And my friend tells me the last they saw her, because he was very close to Malaika on a drive. She was trying to swim across the river, not the Mara River, but a different river, and they think, she was washed away. Who knows? We haven't verified that yet, as we have done with Naratoi. But yes, Tom, cats, cheetahs, lions, leopards will cross the river. And I'll tell you, Tom, for me, the best cats that does very well to cross the river are leopards, because they just swim across. Cheetahs struggle to go across rivers, but leopards do very well. And of course they cross for the one obvious reason, definitely for food, because it's water, they'll drink that water, but for them to go to the other side, they might have spotted prey on the other side, so they'll need to cross over and get food. Otherwise, if the water, the river is pretty deep, or the current is quite fast, and it becomes quite tricky for them. Nice to see the Cory bastard. As I said, one of the heaviest, or some of the heaviest birds to see fly. They spend most of the time on the ground. Very good. I'll still keep crossing our fingers, because I'm still on a nice area to spot something interesting. Let's take you back to Zoli in South Africa.
Yes, indeed. He just gave us some poo for Christmas. Thank you, Hasana, for your poo. He's walking there. We managed to find him on the other side of the road. So we'll drive forward. We're not alone, as I've told you earlier on. We're with the other cars, so we'll try to squeeze in properly and have a nice view. So let me drive forward and see where's the poo. Let me show you the poo before we go to Hosanna. Let me show you his poo. He just gave me some Christmas poo here. I'm sure this stinks. Maybe the dung beetle thing will be here. Let's hope we'll see the dung. Probably not. This is amazing. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Let's have a nice view over here. So walking nicely here and relaxed. I haven't seen any antelopes or any prey that he might try to go for. But you won't know. Maybe he's spotting something we can't spot, because they have this great vision compared to us humans. So I will try to go on my right hand side. This is amazing. Oh, the francolins are crazy. The small birds, crazy. We have this bird over there ahead of Hosanna. I think he tried to dive bomb at Hosanna, but Hosanna is giving us this difficult time. I can't switch off for 5 minutes. I have to switch off and on, off and on. Do birds alarm call only when the leopard is hunting or just passing by? Birds are so curious, more especially when they see a bird of prey or a cat or something. They will alarm call, whether it's hunting or just walking or just lying down. But what I've noticed since I've been here is that if a leopard notices that, or he knows that he's been seen, he will twitch his tail left, right, to tell maybe the birds that, yes, you saw me, then I won't do anything. That's how they respond to the alarm call. So birds will start. Oh, here he goes. I think it's up to something. He can spot something. I can see the way he's moving and walking. This is not a normal movement. Hopefully he's spotting something. We might see an action this Christmas. Hopefully David in the Mara will have an action. If it doesn't have any action, then Juma wins. You need to find yourself a spotted cat. If you don't find yourself a spotted cat, David, my friend, we are leading. Look at this. Look at the body posture. Look at the muscles, the shoulder blade there. This cat is so beautiful. Yes, David, good luck. Good luck with that. Let me move forward again. Good luck with that, David, because you'll find it difficult to spot a cat, a spotted cat in the Mara, because, you know, they prefer to be in a thicket area, and you know you only have these few thicket areas, so you need to drive a long distances to see a leopard. So good luck, Gitu. Hopefully you'll win this Christmas. Here he goes. I don't believe that this cat is so young. 3 years old for such a bold cat. My first time here, that was the 10th of October with SafariLive. They said this cat is 3 years, was about 3 years old, like a year. At first I was disagreeing with the age, but when I saw Hosanna and Tingana together, and then I started agreeing with them, because you can see Tingana is big and Hosanna is smaller than Tingana. So these cats grow very fast, quick, with his muscular body. Here now he's on top of the termite mound, trying to get an aerial view of where he can spot a prey, or maybe any dangers, or maybe a carcass, because they tend to scavenge when they get an opportunity to do so. And they love being on a termite mound, more especially because the termite mounds, they store heat, and then they love lying on top of them. But now I don't think he will lie. He might, but I'm not saying he will lie there. Oh, he's sitting. Beautiful indeed, beautiful. So because it's thick now, he can't spot things from far, so he really needs this termite mound to help his visual aid. So now, while he's looking around, he's checking whether anything might come and avail itself so that he will attack. While we're watching at this beautiful cat this morning, let's go to Sydney and see what he has for us.
I am now checking the cheetah cat line just to see if maybe Tandy or Tlalamba are not in the area where I am, but I have not yet picked up any of the convincing tracks, so it looks like they are still hiding somewhere in this area. So I'm just trying my luck this side. No evidence yet. It will be very great if we see any of those two. I haven't seen them for quite a long time. Cora, I do see baboons and monkeys a lot here in Djuma, but the sightings for baboons and monkeys, they are not as much as these other animals. So I don't see them every day, but I do see them a lot, but not every day. So it means there is no lot of fruit trees by this time of the year where we are, but I'm sure that as soon as the fruit starts to come back by these trees, they will come back this side. It is very much quiet. Only the impalas, you can see, impalas together with the zebras here. So you can see that these impalas, they are together with the zebras. Look at that zebra, how the zebra is hiding behind those bushes. So zebras, they've got a very interesting anti-predatory strategy. So that's why if you look, the social structure of the zebra is a harem, but a collective noun for all zebras together is called a dazzle. That dazzle, when it's dazzling, it does confuse the lions. When the zebras are running, their anti-predatory strategy is applied when they're running. So when they're running, they confuse the predators a lot. But other animals, if you check, their anti-predatory strategies, they normally employ it when they're motionless. When they start moving, then it's going to break the shape and animal will be able to detect them. But zebras, they employ their anti-predatory strategy when they're running away. So zebras are one of those animals with a very good eyesight. So that's why you will see them mostly with the animals such as the blue wildebeest, because the wildebeest, they don't really have a good eyesight. So now they are here with the impalas, and this is quite a very big bachelor head. So I'm trying to check here if there are any females. Oh, there are females. So it means this bachelor head is just joining some of the females, and it's quite a lot of them. Just gonna pull forward here. Oh, there's more impalas on the left. Yes, I haven't seen a lot of zebra babies yet, so it means the zebras, their babies are still on the way. So we are expecting quite a lot of babies. I saw one when we started earlier, and that one, it was looking heavily pregnant. So the baby zebras are so cute, and they are also very fast. So if you look here now, you will see that much more on the left, this place is much more open. It's like what is happening by the quarantine. By the quarantine there, we have got quite a lot of zebras feeding together. Now I can see why they are preferring this open space. It's to do with the safety purposes. Because in the bushes, they know animals will easily ambush them. So they are now trying to gather and feed much more by the open space until their little ones grow up and start to learn how these predators do the predation on them, and then is when they will start to go back to the thick bushes. They are just maybe now trying to transfer the skills for survival when it comes to predation on their little ones. Oh look, there's a big meeting of the little one here. All the little ones are just lying down. Look at that. So all the little ones are just lying down there. Look at that. Look at their ears, with the tips of the ears black everywhere. This is a beautiful sighting. So all these babies we are seeing are all the babies from this breeding season. Look at that. So it's like all the babies has been given an instruction that it's time for you to rest now. You just have to go and sit, all of you, because it's not only this one. Just wait there, you will see. I will show you more who are also relaxing at the moment on a very short distance after this one. Then you will see that, no, it seems like the little one, all of them has been given an instruction in order to chill at the moment. Look there, there's more little ones. Some are still lying down right there. You see, it's a time for all these babies to just relax. So the baby impalas are so cute. Look at that. And look at the pupil. The pupil are larger than the sock. Kathy, I didn't copy your question nicely. Oh, that one has got a problem. You see on the neck. It's nighttime. Look at that one has got a big wound there on the neck. You can see maybe this is a tick infection or something. Let me just reverse a little bit so that you can see. No, it's going to come there. You might see it again there when they are coming to pass. I'll just reverse. Just want to check what exactly the problem is. The baby impalas, they give birth and then isolate themselves for a while. The reason for that isolation is to learn the mothers to be able to sniff and know their little ones from the smell, and also the babies in order to learn their parents from the smell. So that's why they can easily identify each other. Oh, one of them was suckling just now there. You can see that the one that we saw with a wound, I can't see that impala anymore, that baby. So I think she's got an infection here on the neck. David, at this stage is difficult. Remember, when these animals are giving birth, is when they are very much alert when it comes to predation, because they know they've got babies. They've got to be protective. They are very good mothers. When they've got babies like this, they concentrate a lot on the predators. It's not like the little ones when they are ready, when the adults are not helping a lot. When the little ones are starting to become independent, it's not an issue. But now that the little ones are still young, they are observing everywhere and they are walking in big groups. So it's difficult to find one or two impalas with their own babies. So this is part of what is called safety in numbers. So now let's quickly go back to one of these animals who does predate the impalas and their babies.
It is so difficult to give you this exciting sighting for Sana because he's moving, walking around this thicket block here. It's normal for leopards to do such a behavior because they really need to surprise these antelopes that and animals that live in thickets. For example, the duiker, scrub hare, or maybe a bushbuck there. So that's why he's moving around the bushes. He might be lucky to surprise maybe a duiker, because I've seen two duikers while we were searching around this block. Maybe he will surprise them if they're still around. It might happen that they spotted him already, or they left the block, or they're nicely camouflaged there. It's a perfect and nice weather for hunting. You can see the clouds. Yes, Jackie, leopards, in my experience, I've seen leopards like eating from a baby or a female kudu to a squirrel. I've seen them eating a lot of things, so I think it depends on the situation or luck. of that particular species that availed itself, because there are clips on SafariLive where a leopard was hunting, and at the end of the day he ended up eating a squirrel. So I think they prefer anything that it's medium-sized antelope to a squirrel. This place is so difficult. Yes, indeed, there are other animals I'd love to see today. He's moving there, so I think it's I must move a little bit forward. Yes, there are animals I'd love to see, but for now I'm enjoying the sighting of Hosanna. So in the meantime, I'm not thinking of anything except Hosanna. I'm fine with this boy. Awesome sighting. Oh, it's Tienpok. Oh, sorry about that. It's hunting. Can you see that, David? He's chasing a baby impala. So this place is so difficult. So I'm trying to go back. He chased this baby impala there, and this place is so difficult. Why, Hosanna? Why you've decided to hunt in a difficult place like this? Sorry guys, I'm trying to... he is very rude. And I spoke to him this morning that he mustn't go for a baby impala, but that baby just popped out. I don't know where is the baby. He was chasing a baby impala. Let me talk to the Sip, any visual? Okay, let me move forward because they say he might be on a termite mound. We saw him earlier. Hopefully he got it. Hopefully. Oh, here he is. Actually, I got him. Oh boy. Luckily that baby impala managed to camouflage. Oh, what happened? I'm not really sure what happened. I'm waiting for his face to pop out. Maybe there's some blood or something. But if there's nothing, it means that baby impala managed to run or hide somewhere. Yes, indeed. Maybe he got himself some Christmas meal, but I don't think, because if there was a meal, okay. Hello, Hosanna. Hello, boy.
Happy Christmas.
Yes. This is amazing. Must I move forward? Davy and the Vov, they are helping me because I can't see at the back. So they're helping me while I'm doing my reverse. Thank you, Davy. Let's see what Hosanna is up to, because he was chasing a baby impala. So while we're following him, let's go to the Mara with David. Oh, sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. Yes, baby. Hosanna, hello, baby. Hello, my boy. Hello, my boy. You missed the mail. Sorry. But please don't go back to the thicket. We've missed some action. Look at the shoulders. This boy is big now. I'm sure he is ready to take or to defend or to fight another leopard, because he's one of my favorite leopards. I wish Hosanna can stay around his father's territory, because if he leaves, we will miss him a lot. I wish and I hope and I'm praying every day that you stay in your father's territory until. Here he goes, going back to the thicket area again. Oh, my boy. I'm sure he's going back to try his luck again. Yes, Joy, what a nice question there. I'm sure he will look good if he had a Santa hat. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get a nice view of Hosanna because he's moving to a thicket area, so I have to keep an eye on him. That's why it's difficult for me to concentrate on camera when it's coming to me, but I will try my level best. It's so thick in here. Can you see him, Dave? Oh, there he goes. Yes, Hosanna. I think he's spotting something. He's starting to move quickly there. Because I've tried all the angles around this place. Let me try and move forward and see what we can find. Maybe he spotted that impala again, or maybe he's... While we're looking around this thicket, let's go to the Mara with David.
Well, it's good to follow Hosanna because Hosanna has been known to pull surprises once in a while. We are now watching some buffaloes here, which are being accompanied by some egrets. And these egrets have been, or they know, we have always had a saying here in Africa, if you follow bees, you'll get the honey. Now, these egrets know if they follow these buffaloes, they'll get the honey. But the honey, the type of honey they'll get, will be the insects. Because these buffaloes move in the grass, disturb the grass, step on some insect, or before the insect know some big animals stepping on them, they just jump up and they get the insects. The zebras are on the run there. I'm not sure for what particular reason. They might have seen or sensed something they don't like. And very nice to see zebras in the plains of the Mara, rolling and moving. Maybe they're going for a drink. Hello, zebs. These are the common zebras or the bachals. They've always made the Mara very colorful. During the migration, you see thousands. Yeah, Lisa, we're going to take you back to the buffaloes again and see those daring, sorry about my head there. They were looking, they might have moved to a different area, but the buffaloes are not the best animals. Sorry to look at, Baka, you need to go because they are always scaring with their huge horns and their faces when they think they need to be mean. Anytime you see 2 or 3 buffaloes, Lisa, always know they are males. Alrighty, I definitely want to believe South Africa or Juma today they have beaten me in terms of cuts. Tomorrow I know it will be my day, or even this afternoon when I'll be out here in the field. We'll definitely see how it will go, and hopefully I am going to win. We're just waving at some other game rangers there. Today they are all out, making sure everybody's safe, the animals are fine, the guides are okay, the tourists are safe, and we just wave and we say Merry Christmas. I was just watching some news last night, and I was following the coast of Kenya. We have so many people who will always go to the beach to enjoy themselves, and talking about the local people. And the government was saying they have deployed enough security, our police, to make sure when you go on the holiday on the beach, everybody's safe. And same case here, and that's exactly what the game rangers are doing, just making sure all the lovely tourists or guests who come visiting Kenya, they are in good hands. As much as ideally we never have issues in this area. Very good. We're going to keep going down and chancing on anything on this road, but in the meantime, let's go back to Sydney in Joma.
I am now just about to get to the tree house dam area, and here I am not seeing any track. I checked the Chitakat line. I was hoping to come across Tandy or Talamba's tracks, but there is nothing. Maybe they're still somewhere by the Torchwood having their Christmas today, and enjoy the Christmas. We will meet again this afternoon. So now let's go back to Koli, who's got Hosanna, and where I am there is some lion tracks here. We might be lucky with some other lions.
Stay. Yes, Hosanna, he's there. He's here. We're following him. He's giving us this exciting moment this Christmas morning. It's so grateful to see such wonderful species, more especially on morning safari. So I will try to give you guys a good sighting there. Whatever. Yes, yep. Yes. We got you, boy. We got you. We have you. We are with you. So he's trying to search for another opportunity because it seems as if that the baby impala managed to escape. What a wonderful morning. His belly is so empty. Yes, Paula, indeed, he will get his precious meal. He will get his precious meal. Oh, he's coming to a road again. I'll move forward. Yes, indeed. Maybe he will disturb something there ahead of us, and he will show us some action. We really need to see some Christmas action. Look at the tail. Check the tail twitching there. Check the tail. Check the tail. Check the tail. He's thinking something. More especially when they are stationary, they use their tail. Okay, I think why they twitch their tail like this, it's because I think they are thinking of something, or they still figure some things out, or what. I'm not quite sure, but more especially I've seen them twitching their tail like this when they're stationary or when they are trying to hear. I'll try and move forward again because he can spot something, I think, or he's suspecting something around here. Hopefully Kaylin, I also love my decoration thanks to the FC ladies. Oh yeah, yes. thanks to the FC ladies for decorating our cars. It's so good looking. Oh, Hosanna, boy. We're still ahead. We are on top of our game. Mara, we are losing. So, sadly, we're coming to the end of the show. Hopefully, Hosanna will give us an action. And thank you for all you watching on Christmas Day. We also thank Hosanna to give us some nice sighting. I will see you this afternoon for the afternoon drive. Merry Christmas and goodbye.